British officials have rejected fresh proposals by the EU for post-Brexit fishing rights as the trade negotiations move into their final hours. EU Brexit chief Michel Barnier was said to be prepared to water down his demands for access to Britain's coastal waters. But UK sources close to the talks insisted the plans were nowhere near where they need to be. In a private meeting with EU coastal states, Mr. Barnier told envoys Brussels would lower its demand for European boats to maintain access to British fishing grounds for at least 8 years. The Frenchman said a 7-year transition period, during which the generous access enjoyed by EU trawlermen to UK waters would be gradually phased down. He also proposed boosting the bloc's previous offer to increase fishing quotas for British vessels in our waters. Mr. Barnier said between 22 and 23% of the value of fish caught in UK waters should be returned to Britain. This would hand a £135 million boost to Britain's fishing industry after the end of the transition. But British officials said the improved offer was still not enough to end the deadlock in the Brexit trade talks. One source said, "Their prospers are nowhere near where they need to be. They need to drop that phase-in period down seriously." Mr. Barnier also faced stiff opposition from hardline EU coastal states, led by France and Denmark, after he floated the proposals in order to gauge their mood for compromise. An EU insider said the Paris envoy in the meeting was very vocal on the importance of maintaining near-parity access to Britain's fishing grounds. Negotiations continued on Friday in Brussels without a significant breakthrough between EU and UK officials. UK Brexit envoy Lord Frost held talks on Friday with EU counterpart Mr. Barnier at the European Commission's Berlaymont headquarters. Sources were downbeat on the prospect of significant progress ahead of Sunday's deadline for a deal. Mr. Barnier told MEPs the talks had reached a moment of truth, with both sides unable to end the impasse on the key sticking points, fishing rights and common standards. The Frenchman said the row over access to Britain's waters can still collapse the talks and is the main hurdle in the very narrow path to an agreement after more than 9 months of wrangling. Mr. Barnier said, "The path to an agreement is very narrow at a time when decisions need to be taken. That will also be a time for everyone to live up to their responsibilities." The EU's Brexit chief signaled he was refusing to drop a demand that would allow Brussels to slap Britain with punitive tariffs if European trawlermen are largely locked out of our fishing grounds in the future.